Yeah.
Hey, I just I just texted Kim because my video says it was stopped. And now I see nobody.
Yeah, same here. It says video disabled.
Okay.
Um, and hopefully we have our membership on that has access. Do we
We
know?
do. Yeah. Yeah,
Oh, great.
we've got 40 folks that have already joined. We can always just give it another minute or so. But yeah, so I've got let's see, I've got Kim will hopefully she sees my text on the video here. Oh, she says it's turned off. No, I can't turn mine on. It says host has stopped the video. Oh, Kim's working on it right now. But just so for folks that are on their phones, we've got Michael Chubb, Jack Birch, David Higgins, Nick Beach, Anthony Lutz. Michael Chubb, you're on twice, which is lovely. We would have 10 of you if we could. Um, Tim Rupley, Jacqueline McCook. Jacqueline, we have you twice as well. Laura Peters, Vincent Hancock, and Sarah Walker.
Yeah, Paul Checketts is on the line out here in
Oh,
San Antonio as
oh,
well.
got
So,
it.
so,
So
Paul,
I
so
think I
I,
dialed in as Michael.
you are Paul. We will
Okay.
accept you as Michael Chubb, although, yes, it's all great.
I wouldn't curse too many people with my last name willingly. So
I'm in the
Kelly, you
car at the
got me or
moment. So
not?
See here.
Kelly,
What's that?
it's Trig. Could you hear me?
Oh, yes, Trig, you're the second Jacqueline. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Why am I the second Jacqueline? That's weird.
Hey, I don't know.
Okay.
Now, on Hi Sarah, hey, so Kim fixed us.
I'm in here now. You can see me. Hopefully everybody can.
There we go. Hey.
Hey, that's Bray's Island in the background. There, Clay is course.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
So Jack Birch, let me
Yeah.
know what if you want me to like double as your secretary note taker or not.
Yeah, who's talking, Laura?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. No, actually, I've got it right here, and there's going to be a proposal made to tape this so that we will have it live anyway. So,
Sounds good.
okay, go ahead, guys. So may I call the meeting to order, Madam CEO?
Yes, you may.
Okay, may I please have a motion to call to order?
you don't need a motion, sir. You just need to call it to order.
Great, done. Okay, great. So, Laura, roll call.
You got it. Okay, so I've got who I'm seeing: Sarah Walker, David Higgins, Michael Paul Chubb. That was a joke. Anthony Lutz, Jack Birch, Tim Rupley, Jacqueline McCook, Trig French, Nick Beach, Vincent Hancock. Did I miss anybody?
Sonia's on. I got to make her a panelist. Stand by.
Mr. Chairman, point of order, please.
Yes, sir.
You have a quorum based on my numbers, and I need to make a motion to the group before we get started.
What is it on?
Taping this meeting for the use of USAS shooting members to be able to look at it for a later date.
Yeah, I think that that's being taped. When I got on, it said that, and with the openness policy of the board, I think that completely comports with our mission, and I hope that we can do that. I'd encourage all my colleagues to vote for that motion. So you made the motion. I will second that motion, and I would do that for all of our board meetings. And ladies and gentlemen that are in the membership, I'm trying to do all open meetings, but there will be times when bylaws and other rules require the board operate an executive session. I'm certainly not in any way challenging that, but I second your motion if you just made one, sir.
I did.
All right, second.
Discussion.
Go ahead. Discussion, anybody? Okay, without objection, that will be the rule. If anybody would like to demand a roll call vote, you can certainly do that. But without objection, that's accepted, sir. Anybody have an objection? Okay, anything else, Jack?
Yes, approval of the minutes of the February 7th meeting. Those were sent out earlier, and we did a vote by email that approved them, but it appears in the past that the board chooses to also do that in open session. So I ask for approval of the February 7th minutes.
I'll move to approve.
Second. Without objection, if there is an objection or discussion, if anyone would like to call for a roll call vote, if not, then without objection, that motion is approved. Okay, so we sort of skipped over, Laura, I apologize, with respect to the conflict of interest declarations. Would you like to do that now, please?
Yeah, you bet. Board members, having reviewed the agenda that the board will discuss today, does anybody want to declare a conflict of interest?
I'll go ahead and declare conflict of interest. Michael Chubb, an active athlete, as well as a representative of FWC.
I'm texting with Kim Rohde, who's trying to get on. Kim, are you on?
I'm getting her situated.
Great. If not, tell her to just come to my vehicle and she and I can be on the same screen. I think she's still on the property. We're all out, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, at Hill Country shooting range, where we had a clinic in all the sports, where each of the board members in attendance, which is half of the souls on the board, got to learn and then participate in everything from wheelchair bunker trap, which was really cool, to regular. We did skeet, pistol, and rifle. And thank you very much for the athlete reps and volunteers that ran that. It was really neat. And we got to see, how people train, and we got to shoot in some very serious wind. It was really cool. Jack, thank you very much for hosting and picking up the tab on all of our meals and targets and things. And I really want to thank Sarah Walker for putting this whole thing together and sponsoring the housing meals and taking us all to dinner and sneaking back to pay the bill before we could do it, and just being an incredible, active, and great board member. Thank you for that. And thank you to Paul Checketts, the chairman of the foundation, who is reimbursing all of the athlete travel in hotels for the few people that stayed in hotels here. It's a big deal. We're very grateful. And Paul was involved in all of our meals and talks, and I think understands that he has a huge task, as do all of us, to get to winning more medals. Okay, hopefully Kim could get on in that time. Okay, I'm gonna just say that Kim always gives a very clear description of her conflicts as an athlete and the ISSF rep. In case she is able to get on and we need to figure out how to get her on, please, real quick, if you don't mind, ladies. Looks like Jim Burns also having some tech issues where he can see and hear but cannot be seen or heard. I guess he needs to be allowed access. Kim, can you hear us?
I can hear you guys. I'm back. I'm on.
Would you please just do your real quick conflict thing? I just kind of did it for you, but
Yeah, I just, as an athlete, an active athlete, obviously I sit on multiple boards, NRA, CRPA, uh, uh, ISSF, and yeah, maybe a couple others in there. But at the end of the day, if I find anything that I have to recuse myself, I will happily do so. But just to give you guys a heads up, I also am working with LA 2028 under ISSF, and I am, yeah, I'm kind of all throughout. But yeah, if there's any other conflicts, I will definitely raise the flag. But that's it for right now.
thank you, Kim. Okay, so we skipped around a little teeny bit, and we have approved the minutes, and we've approved that this meeting is going to be available, archived, and for the membership to see. I think, Jack, unless you have anything else as secretary, I'd like to please recognize Kelly, our CEO, and mention that Kelly is a volunteer, unpaid CEO. So she's raising us about $250,000 just by coming to work every day and not charging us. She's done a phenomenal job. And I think she's got a very united, excited board, at least united and excited behind her. So Kelly, if you would.
Yeah, great. So for the quarterly memberly meetings, or member meetings, we sort of just get feedback from members on, questions. There wasn't a lot this quarter. So there are some questions that were submitted. So we're going to talk through that. Again, if, please, you can always send it to Kim Covert. She's going to text me right now with anything else that comes in that anyone wants to talk about for me or for the folks on the NGB staff that are joining, or for any of the board members too. We do want to be as responsive as possible on all of these things. So it's already early March. I've got a couple slides to walk through, but just to kind of level set, we're in sort of the first quiet year of the quad. We've got some kids right now that are earning many quotas for us leading up to the Junior Pan Ams, which is very, very exciting. We've got kind of our competition schedule laid out on our website for 2025. That first quota earning period is kind of the summer of 2026. So what we're doing right now is focusing on not just our approved budget for 2025, which is smaller than we would like. And we're so happy to have support from Paul and others, so that we can begin to get a little bit more intentional and purposeful at our fundraising activities, not just for 2025, but leading us all the way up to LA to grow our revenue base. The flip side of that is, our high performance programs in terms of, our talent pipeline right now towards LA across all four of our disciplines for shotgun, rifle, pistol, and para, as well as we have a open, we've got a hire that we're like 99% ready to make an offer to. So we're super, super excited about that. But that's probably the single most important hire for our NGB, to help us take a look at each of our programs, align, make sure that our funding is as effective and efficient as possible. So many of our members have been with us for so long that um, um, the the funding sources, as you know, we've got, USOPC is one of our largest funding sources. And so we've already published the athlete grants to our top athletes across, based on ISSF world rankings. And then before April 1st, we've got the targeted athlete. We are going to still have a targeted athlete fund model, or as USOPC calls it, ring fenced. But we're going to have a similar construct for this year as well. And that criteria will be coming out right immediately after the hire is finalized and started before April 1st. So, so let's see here. So do we have, so for today, I wanted to have Brittany highlight a couple things that we're doing from a PR standpoint and some recent engagement. Hey, Brittany, at the training center in Colorado. Some pretty cool stuff that's been going on, and hopefully we'll see more of this activity in the spring and the summer. As well as I'd like Brittany to talk you guys through some of the planning that we're doing for our 30th anniversary year. So which is this year. This year is the 30th anniversary of this NGB being overseen by the USOPC. As we know, prior to that, it was the NRA. So, more to come on that, but we are looking to kind of have sort of celebrations and activities all throughout the calendar year to celebrate. And I know it's not 100 years, it's not a 50 year, but I still think that 30 is very exciting. So we want to have 30 more for the sport as well. So,
Kelly, may I ask a question, please?
Yeah.
Sorry. Would you please, I know, I hope you're going to do it, but I know you all did a lot of work on deciding the entire year's board meetings, and you picked locations for at least one. And we got one of our board members to agree to host the first one, or the second one, sorry. So when appropriate, can you give everybody those meetings so our membership can plan? And members, you're invited to attend in person or remotely like you're doing right now. Every member of USA Shootings invited. And we also, if you come in person, we'll, if I have my way, charge you a modest event fee that'll go into athlete travel. The reason is you're going to get value of all the activities, and it's usually going to be underwritten by the host or individuals. So for this one, it's $2,000. Everybody got way more than $2,000 worth of value. Can you give us the dates, Kelly?
Boy.
I have them if you don't.
Oh, perfect. Yes, that would be great. And just so you know, you can rattle them off, and we're doing the video that will get uploaded to the site, but we'll also do like a member email push so that they have it in there. But you should definitely go through them regardless.
Okay, sorry. I'm sorry to interrupt. I thought, okay.
No, it's good. Yeah,
or Sarah Walker, you correct me if I'm wrong here, because Sarah Trigg and others came up, and I just think it's important that we tell everybody. Sarah, you can either do it or let me do it and correct me if I get it wrong. Okay, I'll go ahead then. Obviously, March 4th today, we're doing it at the range here. My hope is that we can do all of our meetings at our ranges so we can see our ranges and know what, if anything, we need to be doing to help. And also promote our ranges with all kinds of side events, fundraisers, etc., adjacent to board meetings. Second one, I believe, is going to be May the 6th. And I believe that Palm Beach has volunteered to host us. Is that correct, Michael?
Correct.
Okay, great.
That would be great.
The next one is August the 19th, I believe. And again, if I have old information, please correct me.
That's been updated, Tim. The next one will be August the 5th. The third quarter board meeting will be August the 5th.
Okay, so yeah. Thank you. Go ahead.
Yeah,
so I'm going to
change the location on that one, but we think that one's going to be in Colorado Springs.
Yeah, that'd be one. I hope that works. Someplace cool, hopefully. Okay, and again, August the 5th, correct? All right, I'm writing that down. Hopefully everybody else is. And then the final one, I believe, is November the 3rd. Is that right?
Correct.
And I believe, Kelly, correct me if I'm wrong, that's at Hillsdale. And I think the reason for that date, if I'm not mistaken, is that they are opening their pistol and rifle range there, and will have a bunch of donors, some of whom have helped us on our most recent or first visit, I guess you'd say, there last October.
That's right.
Great. And again, I want to build out activities and fundraising and challenge our foundation, whose president was kind enough to come here and really is up on all the details of kind of what we think we're going to need from them. So every place, everyone's welcome, and we're all going to pitch in and try to not just do our business, but raise a ton of money. Kelly, I interrupted you. Go ahead, please.
Great. Anytime I get interrupted to talk about raising money, everybody has the floor, please. I welcome it. It's all good. But yeah, so in terms of our Q1 overall update, we're basically focused on building out the year and building out we've got a few strategic hires for the team, building out a what I call 4+4 strategic plan, for LA plus beyond that. And so it's really a quarter of just a lot of like heads down type of work. And I'm super excited as we get into the second and third quarter, especially. We're gonna have, I hope, I mean, if all goes as planned, we're gonna have quite a bit of exciting competition updates from our national team members, from the junior side for all of the events that we're planning on attending. So that's really super exciting stuff. And so we, with just to kind of level set, so last year, I've, been here for a few quarters, almost a year now. We had a we went to a whole new revised bylaws. We were reconstituting pretty much the bulk of our core committees. And so what I'd like to get us to is having, a finance committee update every quarter. So Sarah Walker, as our new treasurer officer, we've got, we'll kind of tee up some of the year end and quarter four financials, and then revisit those every single quarter for the members. We want to do that, as well as have other relevant committee updates, whether it's a gov committee when that's populated, ethics, or however we want to handle that. So I just wanted to acknowledge that in the kind of the back half of 2024, there were so many of these other activities with the bylaws happening. We didn't always have those regular committee updates, but we really would like to have that kind of every quarter ongoing. And if there's other topics that the members would like to see, please send them in. We put them on that list for subsequent, and we want to just be as responsible as possible. So having said that, okay, Brittany, why don't let's see here. I think I can share my screen here, Brittany, and then maybe talk through, sorry guys, I do use a computer. Hold on a second here. Here we go. Oh, Kim Covert, can you please allow me to share? Give me the power to share. I would love it. And then we'll walk through December financials and then the audit and a number of those financial things. Let's see here. There we go. Okay. Okay, everybody should be able to see. So Brittany, do you give us the good word?
Hi, can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Hello, I'm Brittany Nelson, the Communications and Public Relations Manager, for those who don't know. So we've been doing a lot of local events and kind of outreach. The first one that we did was a lot of fun. The Pikes Peak School of Expeditionary Learning reached out to me. They do these kind of expeditions every quarter, and this quarter was the Olympic and Paralympic movement. And so I suggested we go to the school and have an Olympian and a Paralympic athlete talk. So we had Alexis Logan and Landon Ruggiero talk. They talked about how shooting kind of involves physics and the science behind that. They had a great time. It was awesome. They had all these questions, and then they later came to the training center that week and did a tour of the entire campus. So that went really well. The kids were pretty engaged for being third and fourth graders, so we were pretty impressed. If we go to the next slide.
That's awesome.
Omega. So Omega Watches came to the Olympic and Paralympic Training Center They're a big partner with Team USA. They did an experience with USA Shooting and then an experience, I think, with USA Fencing. So shout out to Brent, Mike, and the NTCSC for hosting this experience in general. We had Xiao come in, Yang Xiaogong, who won his first Paralympic medal in Paris. So he kind of talked to the employees and helped teach some of them how to shoot air pistol and showed off his extensive collection actually of Omega watches that we all learned about. They just had a really good time learning about the sport in general and Xiao and some of our athletes. And then I'll kind of dive into the 30th anniversary. So as you guys know, this year is the 30th anniversary that USA Shooting has been a chartered NGB under the USOPC, which is super exciting. I think it should be celebrated. We all do. So we've got a lot in store. One of the things we've already started doing is our social media giveaways. Every month we're going to be doing a giveaway via a trivia question about the sport in general, our NGB, and we'll be giving away some exciting store gear as well as some archive relics that we have found in our archives. So it'll be a fun little thing. But we've got some other things kind of in the planning stages that we are excited to do this year to celebrate. Again, April 15th is the day, 30th anniversary. So, yeah.
That's exciting. And, Brittany, anything else that you want to say? And I know we've got members on. If there's any volunteer needs that you have of any kind. I mean, I think one of the things that one of the great ideas that you had was kind of a call to sort of our extended alumni folks as well as the members for like historical footage, photo assets, any kind of stories or anything like that. If there's a kind of a call to members to kind of get their mind thinking about how they could contribute to it or maybe be a part of it, we're kind of open to that.
Yeah, definitely planning on sending an email to members to see what you guys have as far as historical photos, video footage, kind of any ideas. I only know what I know. I've only been here a few years. So whatever you guys have that you think could be appropriate for socials, articles, kind of any content creation really throughout the year would be super awesome. Just email them to me, brittany.nelson@usashooting.org, and we can take those into consideration.
Yeah, it's a good opportunity for us to spend some time and resources too at kind of updating sort of the institutional knowledge of our sport. There's been a lot of turnover in the last 10 years. And so we just want to use this year also as a little bit of a reset to try to get organized and capture some of that institutional knowledge, photo assets, video assets, to kind of honor the history of this really, really cool sport that kind of was born out of the NRA, but it's an exciting time for that. So good. Okay. Now the budget. So for the members, Sarah Walker is amazing. She was a board member. Sarah, I don't remember at what point you joined the board, if it was late 2023, right?
That sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah. So she's based in San Antonio, has extensive nonprofit experience, even more on the treasury and finance side. We also have Emily Curry on, who's the chair of our finance committee. So what I thought I would just walk through next is just sort of some high level numbers. Let me just switch my screen here actually to the PDFs because they kind of don't really wrap very well. But I thought what we would do just as a quarterly new routine is just cover some of the high level revenue pieces, high level expense pieces. And just to take a step back, we finished 2024. We have an audit going on right now. We're almost finished with it. Just kind of a few last journal entries that need to be taken care of. But yeah, otherwise, this year's audit of 2024 is going to be in a much better spot than the 2023 audit. It's challenging. So we did a lot of work to make it a lot cleaner, simpler, and also easier to audit too. So we also ended the year with positive net income. And I don't know the timing of when our 990 will get filed. I forgot to ask Karen that before we joined this call. So, but you'll all see that for those of you that follow the filings. So, and then on 2025 numbers, you know, we do have the baseline 2025 budget approved for the organization that will serve as kind of the core assumption for a lot of our the amount of trips, the amount of athletes we can fund across the disciplines, and some other program assumptions. But you know, we hope to, as we can increase revenue, we hope to, you know, expand our support in a number of areas. But kind of some of the things that you're hearing are the base level of support for 2025. So having said that, Sarah will be, once she gets more up to speed on all the financials, she'll be able to talk about all these, you know, things as well every quarter. So Emily, why don't I just share my, switch my screen here. And, you know, Emily, please just pipe in if there's anything that, that you think, you know, we should pay more attention to or not, or anything. So for the fourth quarter, let me see. Let me just adjust the view here. I hope that font is not too small. I hope it's good for everybody. I'll just kind of keep going. But really for the fourth quarter of 2024, our total revenue was 340,000. We've got the USOPC grants in there, which is our largest, as well as the recurring revenue piece, the membership revenue, which is great. We've got a lot of quite a bit of life membership and high renewals to our membership rates. So that's really great. What we want to do over this quad is really be as intentional as possible at how we can try to improve the overall value proposition of the membership. So, you know, a lot of things to solve, and a lot of these things take time, but, you know, I just call that out as sort of something that's important to this management team and board. So, so we've got all of our athlete expenses in here. What we've done is pretty much every quarter through the end of last calendar year, Karen Sarnelli, who kind of manages this with some outside resources as well. She does an amazing job with the GL account level. So we're looking for that Goldilocks, right? You know, not super high level, but not super detailed that it's painstaking. But what we're trying to do every single year is improve visibility into the athlete direct expenses, the expenses that go directly towards athletes. It helps us not only from a donor relations standpoint, but from a fundraising standpoint, so that we can direct the funds where people would like them to go to. So basically, we ended the year with positive net income, which is terrific. Let me see here. Let me switch PDFs here. 1 second. Sorry, this is clunky, you guys. It's not going from one to the other here. Let's see here.
We came in very favorable on Olympic expenses and other USOPC designated fund expenses. We were able to reallocate some of those where we had excess. So we had savings and pickups in other areas. It was another Karen win of being able to work through all those budgets and get us some money there, which helped on the bottom line.
Yes, well said here. Absolutely. I'm going to just share my screen without doing this PDF flipping through these things. Let's see here. Yeah. No, this is the wrong file. Sorry, guys. I didn't have these in order here. For December, competitions revenue was up slightly according to plan. And Emily, I don't know if you want to talk about this either from a competitions revenue standpoint. We, it was primarily our December WAG tournament, which had record numbers of participation. So that is super exciting. So we want to keep that up, and we want to keep that momentum and that interest for air pistol and air rifle as we think about the events and our talent pipeline for LA. So, so competitions revenue was slightly up. This is just sort of our, you know, month by month Emily, I don't think there's anything here that really pops in just December, but if there's anything else you think we should call out just for the month of December, we should probably do that. But
No, the only other big increase to budget was the Hillsdale event. I think it was like 60K favorable on the fundraising event there.
That's right. Yep.
Great.
That was terrific. We love Hillsdale. That was great. And that was a fun event and great way
Well,
to
let me
do
just I'm sorry to interrupt, but I just want to highlight what you said. What was the number, Emily?
Kelly quote me. I don't want to say the wrong number, but I believe it was around 60K.
All right, so over 60,000 in cash, and then we got a $600,000 check written to build a athlete housing structure and some athlete travel money committed, which I need to close on what exactly that commitment is. So that starts a baseline for us. So Palm Beach, we're coming with our shotguns, rifles, pistols, and of course our hands out for money.
Yep.
And we're not necessarily looking for the state of Florida, but we're going to be getting South Florida donors. And we're going to try to raise money at all of these events. So for you in the membership, this is a great opportunity for you guys to help out and take some ownership. And if you want to really make points, it's great to do it in person with us. Go ahead, Kelly. Sorry to interrupt.
No, I love it. It's great. It's perfect. And it's so no pressure, Michael, on that, but supposed to at least laugh a little bit. But for Hillsdale, we've talked about this the last couple of meetings, but I just wanted to call out that when we think about the future sustainability of the sport, and I don't mean sustainability from an environmental standpoint. I mean sustainability from a keeping more people coming to this activity than are leaving this activity over the long term. It's partners like Hillsdale who are willing to invest in developing that new range capacity. That's just so important. And it also is a win-win for our NGB because we now have additional rifle and pistol capability that we did not have before. That we can hold more training camps, more workshops at. We can also, it's a great opportunity for, our athletes who love to teach and mentor and coach as well to help develop that next generation of junior talent as well. So to me, it's just a win-win from every angle. And so I just, I wanted to acknowledge Hillsdale and say thank you. And we hope to help them utilize it as much as possible, as well as the other ranges. Sorry, Michael, I didn't mean to make it seem like, well, West Palm is different, but you get it. So,
I understand completely.
yeah. But it really takes a village to kind of continue to build the future of the sport for 30 more years to come. So, let's see here. Anything else, Emily, on or Sarah, that we've been talking about in the last? So our finance committee meets once a month. We go through, all these things. Sarah, Emily, any other comments for the member base or even the board on either the fourth quarter or 2024 or anything for 2025?
No, I'd say the audit went smooth. Brett was pretty happy with the changes made in the organization, which was great. Things ran smoothly there. I believe the last I talked to him, he said in the next week we would have the audit done. I don't know when the actual filing's coming out, but other than a little bit of documentation here and there, everything looked good.
Yeah, he did say that he thought they could be done by next week. That would be like the world's fastest audit on the planet, but we'll take it, if we can get it. So, so that's all we had from a finance perspective. I think once we have for next quarter, what I think what I had wanted to cover for the members is a little bit more around the specific trips and kind of the funding priority and how we are aligning that from a high performance standpoint. So I just felt it was more appropriate to do that once we have that hire onboarded. So, so yeah, so I think, we didn't have a ton of questions submitted. I thought we could kind of talk through these, and anyone from the board, I know there's a couple of you can speak to these, but I'll kind of start with the top, and then there's another one here in my text about the athlete stipend, so we'll talk about that next. So update on TAS. So we are going to have, with the USOPC, they're our largest funding source. We do have in our budget for 2025 roughly $200,000 dedicated towards TAS dollars. And so we've been working with USOPC to develop that criteria, who receives that, you know, and how. And so it's kind of tied with the second bullet point. We have the final candidates. We're hoping to have the decision made by Thursday. It's Tuesday of this week, so by Thursday of this week, which is March 6th. And then, that will, assuming offers are accepted, we have a start date, we'll have notices go out about that. And that will be one of the first things that the high performance director is going to do, is to finalize kind of that criteria for the targeted athlete support, which is a portion of the funding that our top athletes receive from the NGB, in addition to direct dollars out of our budget, as well as direct athlete stipends. Or I'm told the USOPC doesn't call it DAS anymore. I'm kind of in the habit of doing it, but I'm supposed to call it an athlete stipend. So those are paid, those have already begun, and those have already been paid to athletes. And memos were sent about that. So one question that did come in is if the criteria for the athlete stipends will be published, and it absolutely will. So I was trying to find some type of template for like funding criteria, and I had some folks send me what has been used in years past. And I was thinking I would just do that. And I apologize, not having done some of this before. That was what I went to. But if there is a different format that is expected, please just tell me offline. But we'll make that criteria publicly available on our site for all of our athletes. So no concern there. The same goes for the shotgun team manager and the para team manager. So all the offers are all going out this week for all of these roles. So that's very exciting. It's been, we've had some staffing gaps for a number of these for longer than I would really care to. And I just wanted also to acknowledge the existing staff of the USA Shooting, and how much extra and above and beyond, and just all that we're trying to do to make all of this happen every month and every quarter and coming off the games. I just wanted to say thank you and acknowledge the USA Shooting staff for really bending over backwards all the time to just try to make all this work. So it's really admirable, and we have so much passion, from all angles of the sport. And again, if there's any more questions, send them in. The last one, which has come in spades from our member base and lots of constituents. So Kim Rohde, I don't know if she's set up with presenter. I think she is now. But Kim, do you want to kind of talk through, to the extent of what you're able to share, kind of what's happening from a LA 2028 standpoint, and how just we can think about it from an event, from a venue, from anything?
So I do have, to be careful, because obviously we have confidentiality issues with LA 2028. So we can't really say too much other than that. Shooting will be in the LA 2028 Olympics, that the venue will be in California, in Southern California. I know ISSF is pushing very hard for the venue to be very close to the village. We do not want what happened in Chateauroux, where we were 4 hours out. So there's been a lot of discussion about that. As far as have they picked the venue site, where the venue site is, I know I'm getting asked that daily. We cannot discuss that or say. They are looking into multiple venues, multiple suggestions have been thrown out. And first, the decision was supposed to be announced in December. They pushed it back to January, and now they're saying April. So I believe the announcement will come in April. They are working on it currently, and there's been a lot of meetings, but at this time, I cannot say much more than that, other than that we've been guaranteed also to have shooting in Brisbane. So for the Olympics after. So if there's any other questions or anything like that, I'm happy to try to answer as best I can under the restrictions that we have. But everybody just look forward to April, and hopefully they don't push it back past that point.
And Kim, one follow on, and this wasn't from a member, this is more from me, but are there rules, or maybe Jack, you guys know too, this is me just not understanding all the ISSF rules well enough, but are there requirements for the host country to like have like test events across the disciplines, or how does that work? I just remember vaguely what we did at Chateau, and I don't know if that was normal or if it was, situational based.
I can honestly say from ISSF standpoint and from the athlete standpoint, always having a test event is, important and something that we are pushing. In past Olympics, we have had that. In Tokyo, we did not. And we have had some pushback from various organizations from, IOC to LA 2028 on that topic. So as far as currently, are we going to have test events? I don't know. I think that'll be something depending upon the venue and what they select and what their idea is as to if we have a test event or not. Obviously, ISSF is keeping that at the top of the list. But I think more importantly, it's about keeping all the medals and the events and everything in the Olympics as well. So at this time, there is no definitive yes or no, but obviously know that ISSF is pushing for, the most practice, the most opportunities for our athletes to be able to, train and compete and practice on those sites. But until those sites are selected, we can't say one way or the other.
Perfect.
I hope that answers the question.
Kelly, Jack, from a rule standpoint, it's not required, but it is normal and customary to have a test event. And it has always been done, with the exception of the last two.
Yes.
Tokyo for obvious reasons. And the last one, they did a test event, but they limited it to only French athletes just to test the equipment. So it's normal and customary, but not required.
Okay.
It was kind of more of a courtesy.
Okay. Well, it seems prudent, but I don't know. So.
Well, what it actually does is it shakes out all the equipment to make sure everything's working properly and allows the organizing committee the opportunity to go in and fix a few problems. But again, it is not required, but normal and customary.
Yeah.
And just something to add to that, I think part of it comes down to the venue. If you're, and I throw this out there just, one way or the other, say, for example, you have a permanent facility. Obviously that makes it a lot easier to have, test events, whether that's way in advance or right before the Olympic Games. That makes it a lot easier. When you start talking about temporary facility, well, when are they going to build that temporary facility? Is it a week before? Is it a month before? These are factors where it can change the amount of time or the probability of having a test event. So, like I said, until they actually pick the venue, until we actually know what that site is going to look like and how far in advance, or if it's already going to be a pre-existing or something that's legacy, we can't say until April, until they make that announcement. And that's why I say it's really, hingent and contingent on what they're wanting to do.
Okay. Okay. And to kind of Tim's original comments regarding the ranges, and Jack, we've had a number of conversations about this too, but to whatever extent, we can help the left hand connect with the right hand on engaging ranges and driving more of that foot traffic to these ranges for events throughout the quad, with us being the host country, it feels like we only could win because of that. So, the rising, God, what is that analogy about the rising tide lifts all boats or something? I don't
Yes, it
remember.
is. Adam Smith. Exactly.
Okay, perfect. I think
And
we'll massacre that too much, but
and I just want to say one more thing too to add to that, Kelly. Right now, I know that you and I are getting hit pretty heavy for venues for rifle and pistol in LA. And currently, there is no facility in LA that can actually do that. Even if they build a facility, they are looking at having to build temporary or permanent. It's a problem. So, yeah.
okay.
That's something to keep in mind as well. So you're looking at people going to other states possibly for training as we lead up, or things are determined.
Okay.
Because there is no place.
Thank you, ladies. Kelly, let me know a good wrap up time. I only am looking at the clock here, and
Sorry, I know.
2 o'clock.
One more super brief. Kim Covert, I just thought it would be interesting for the whole group to see. We've got new team gear, new team uniforms, and I just thought you guys might be interested. I know it's just outfits, but I really think they look great. And it's something that we tried to put some intentionality with designing this year. So, and Kim, do you want to just give a quick update for the group and for our members? They might love to hear about all the success we've been having in Paraguay right now.
Yeah, so we have a team of rifle and pistol juniors down in Paraguay to win us our quotas. They were able to secure all the quotas for the rifle and pistol. The team rifle boys won gold with the three-person team, and the girls won silver. Same on the pistol side. The boys won the gold in the team, the girls won the silver. Individual medals, Grayson Muller for boys rifle won the silver overall, and Nathan Lim for the boys pistol won the overall gold while we were down there.
Awesome.
Okay. Anything else?
Thanks,
That's
Kim.
really cool. Thank you. Kelly, anything else?
Nope. Sorry,
All
I
right.
went longer than planned.
No,
Sorry.
no. It was great, and we appreciate you very, very much. And I'm gonna help even it out because I'm gonna be real brief. So, ladies and gentlemen, I don't have anything as interesting to say to you as several of our guests that have been here for this first board retreat, which was really a great forum to hear from our athletes and board members that made the time to come out here. A couple of people called and gave some ideas and complaints. It got pretty exciting, a little rowdy, and I thought it was great. And what I would like to do here is give 1 minute each to Michael Chubb and David Higgins, please, because they came up with some really neat stuff, and I'd like them to summarize it. And then I'd also like, please, to give my time to Vincent Hancock, who came out here to talk to us about winning. Gentlemen, if you go ahead, Chubb first, please.
All right, good afternoon. So what I'm here to talk about today is trying to return USA Shooting to a more service-based organization, focusing on what we provide to athletes as a whole. So the first step that I think as the board we should look at doing is reconstituting the national ranking system. This was a system in place in the past that USA Shooting had provided for athletes and has since fallen to the wayside. But as it stands right now, there is a need for change looking forward at how we identify performance within our organization across athletes and all standards. So this would be the first step at looking at moving forward. I'll talk with all the athlete representatives and people from all of the sports, rifle, pistol, and shotgun, and start proposing changes and how we can move forward with that and looking for a better answer and solutions towards the May 6th board meeting.
That'd be great. So basically, I like it, keeping track of scores, right? Okay, so I messed up and forgot to put Paul Checketts on the spot. I'm going to give Paul 1 minute as well. So Paul got shook down pretty hard by me. He's our foundation chairman, and Paul, if you don't mind, please, just 1 minute, sir.
Hey guys, thanks, Tim. Appreciate it. I think, as I mentioned in today's meetings and yesterday, it's morning again in America. It's morning again for USA Shooting. We are so excited to be part of this organization and lead it in a new, exciting direction. And with Sarah and the new board, put together a series, or will be putting together a series of fundraising events and donor ideas for the foundation. So we have aggressive goals. I'd like to cover some of those on another call, but I think we are excited. We have the dream team to make this happen for our athletes and for the people of the United States to celebrate our Second Amendment, enjoyment of our Second Amendment right to enjoy the shooting sports, of which more people shoot than play golf and tennis combined in the United States. So let's just keep that going. And with that, I'll give it back to Tim and look forward to your questions and talking more. Thank you.
All right, sir. We really appreciate it. Higgins.
Appreciate it, Tim. So just over the last couple of days, I know folks have come up with quite a few great ideas, especially with what Mike just announced. And all of these have dollar amounts that are associated with them. And I think one of the key things for this quad is going to be looking towards what our goals are medal wise at the end of the 4 years, as well as breaking that down into each year going forward. And really, there's kind of there's going to need to be a mesh between the strategic level planning with like Kelly and the board, as well as like the nitty gritty detail that a lot of the management staff is going to have to come forward with to understand what the requirements are in order to get us to those particular goals. And then within each of those requirements, like how we're going to prioritize those and understand the exact dollar amounts that are going to need to be applied to those requirements in order to get us to those successes. And so I think a key would be to really kind of maybe stand up a working group at some point in time between the board and potentially some of the management staff to really understand that and tease those out so that we can move forward with a solidified plan that has both ideas as well as dollars laid on top of them. Appreciate it, Tim.
No, it's awesome. Thank you. I would just say the athletes did a great job of electing talent this year. Every athlete rep I've met has been outstanding, and appreciate you. So most important of all, and I urge you guys, either take notes or listen to this open meeting later. I took a lot of notes when Hancock was talking. I don't think he needs any introduction. I think his credentials speak for themselves. And what I asked Vincent to come here for is, I know how to solve problems and raise money, and there's some incredible talent on the board. There was great talent in 24 fixing horrible governance issues and stuff. I mean, we're pretty good at that. And what I'm not confident in is, what does the average board member who's contributing to this thing need to know, and what mindset do we need to have to win? And what I asked for was just, no holds barred advice. And Vincent, if you could please summarize that, you can have all the rest of my time, whatever you need. Go ahead, sir.
Oh, Vincent, you're on mute. Yep.
We'll bring him over to another computer real quick. Just a second.
And just for clarification, just for those, well, we'll do that when Vincent's done. Never mind.
Sorry about that, everybody. My computer wasn't letting my microphone have access. So thank you all for having me. It was really a lot of fun to get here and discuss a lot of things that we were looking forward to in the future of USA Shooting, not just for the organization itself, but also for the athletes. And a lot of the things we were discussing were talking about high performance and the basis of high performance, talking about what Michael was speaking on the national ranking system. It's something that I've been lobbying for a number of years, not just for it to be a ranking system and we have a way to track our athletes, but also to build it in a way and in a manner that it becomes our selection process. My theory behind this is that as we're incorporating in these competitions, both domestically and internationally, we can truly select our best athletes based on this ranking system that, again, incorporate 125 target matches and the finals points system that are adding on to it, speaking more so on shotgun on this side, and then having that be a rolling average. So we're truly trying to find a way to select our best athletes to always represent us as we're traveling. Now, I left my notes over there. So if you give me just 1 second, I'm going to go grab my notes because I was rushing over here for a minute. With the selection changes, why do we need to do it? It's about building the strongest program we possibly can. And it's also going to make it to where we're creating more pressure situations to put our athletes under. We need to find ways to create those diamonds in the rough. And by doing that, what we're going to do is we're going to put them under pressure on a constant basis to have to perform. Looking at some of our teams, for me, obviously looking more so on the shotgun side, on the skeet side, we're already averaging, just to make our US team, an above average number that will make every single World Cup final or World Championship final or Olympic final that we go to. So increasing those opportunities and continuing to push that threshold of becoming comfortable being uncomfortable is going to allow us to get overseas and truly be prepared to win more medals. On the high performance philosophy side, which is really where I'm trying to help, I'm going to lobby for standardizing the methodologies for each discipline. And in doing so, it's going to open up the opportunity to go out and find the best methodologies, implement them here in the US, and watch our programs continue to build. Ever since I've been in this for the last 25 years, we've never had anything remotely close to some kind of standard method to start with. I think we should look around, whether it be a rifle, pistol, or a shotgun, find whatever's working the best, whether it be through athletes or through coaches, and find ways to implement that into our youth ranks or into anybody that's coming into the sport and wanting to build from there. It's going to give us the opportunity to, again, embrace the best methods, and hopefully win more medals than we've ever won before in the past. One of the things I really want to try to focus on is helping develop our athletes into the fullest potential by teaching peak periodization, how to establish training plans, and how to determine the crossover between quantity, consistency, and quality. The ultimate goal is to win and increase our medal count as quickly as possible, knowing that it takes years to implement and achieve. So this isn't a quick process. This is going to usually it's an 8-year process, somewhere between 8 and 10 years. But the sooner we get going on this, the sooner we have potential of starting to reap some of the rewards. And that's pretty much it for right now. There was a lot of other things we discussed, but those are the highlights. That's really the high performance side is where we need to focus on and continue to build. But I'm here to help, and I want the U.S. to be more and more successful year over year.
Thank you very much. Go ahead, please. Questions?
I was going to say, Vinny, don't go anywhere. I had a question for you. Sorry
Go
to
ahead.
put you on. I know. Sorry to put you on the spot. No, I love it. This is so great. And I loved all the words. I think, to David's point, we've got to bust through the glass ceiling of kind of where our NGB has topped out. If you think about over the last 30 years, when we think about our toughest foreign competition, what's your quick answer for how we can learn from how they train so that it's not just a matter of how much money, right? So there's things that we have in the United States that you can't buy. So talk to us about how we think about the foreign competitors that are state funded and have a lot more money than us. I refuse to accept that as our only excuse for not winning.
I think the country that you have to look at and potentially look to emulate is China. Their average medal count is 11 at the Olympics. Our max is 6 that we've ever won. So obviously they're doing something correct. What are they doing? They are inviting coaches or videoing athletes, whatever it is, which are the best in the world. They're trying to get a methodology. They're standardizing it. They're making it across all of their state-sponsored training centers. I think it's either 21 or 23 Olympic training centers that have shooting facilities and shooting teams part of that. So each one of those has more funding than what USA Shooting has as a whole. So that's the thing that we're trying to compete against. Understanding what we're up against and what they're doing should be the basis of our beginning. We
Right.
know that they are some of the best rifle and pistol shooters in the world. Their shotgun program has always had some strong shooters, but they have always lacked a standardized methodology on the shotgun side because they can't get any of those strong coaches to go there. And so what have they done? Again, they videoed all of the best athletes for years and years and years. And if you notice, every one of the Chinese athletes that you see is a reproduction of somebody that's been successful in the past. So they're trying to find it, but they don't have the full basis of knowledge. We do here in the US. But I do think that we need to, again, search, whether it be trap, skeet, rifle, pistol, whatever it is, all the disciplines, find the best in the world, figure out what makes them the best, and then try to reproduce that here on a standardized methodology that can be spread out near and far to everyone from the top to the bottom.
Excellent. And just to be clear, thank you. To be clear, I think our medal upside is 45. Is that right?
We have 45 potential medals that can be won at any Olympic Games, and the most we've ever won is 6. So we do have a lot of potential.
Andrew
So
Max.
this is where I hope to spend 90% of my energy, and I hope the rest of us are all of the same mind, is on winning those. That's an incredible stock to buy, ladies and gentlemen. We're doing 6 right now, and the upside is 45. Huge opportunity. So that's why I really put people that know what they're talking about in my time, because I want to focus on winning. And anybody that's got the credentials and knows how to do it, trust me, we're going to be enlisting their support. Vincent, thanks for making the time and taking the time away from family training in your own business to spend the day with us here in person. And also, I asked you to summarize something that I think is hard to do in a few words, and you did it great. There's a lot more going on there. I took detailed notes, and I'll probably ask Vincent's permission to share some form of those with my colleagues. Thank you very much. Is there any other questions for Vincent, please? Okay, great. So I'd like to hand it over, please, to Vice Chairman and my good friend, Trig French.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you, everybody. We have, myself, Sandra Updegraff, and Jacqueline McCook have come up with a grid for recommendations for the designated shooting committees. And we would consult with Laura, believe that this would go into an executive session if we want to discuss the personal attributes of the candidates. But I can say that with the exception of one in the ethics committees, we do have suggested names for everybody to review. What we do not have, and maybe somebody from athlete representation, maybe Don, you could give us an update on where the AAC selection stands as it relates to filling in the rest of those positions as well.
Tanya?
Yes, the AAC has not picked their chairman or vice chairman yet, but I believe we're going to try to do a meeting next week, and then we can pick all of those.
Okay, so we have 7 designated committees, and you guys will be picking for those as well, or selecting. Yes, Tim, it's up to you. Would you like to move forward with this, or should we wait for the AAC? Not that.
Yeah, I would like to wait, and also I have a question.
Sure.
And we can definitely go through this process, but the reason that I want to wait for that and for your answer to this question, and for have the whole board better understand what we're talking about, and people that are just members to understand like why we would go into executive session, which I fully support, by the way, for this. So I want to make sure I understand this. So you're gonna recommend some candidates for the nominating governance committee, but are you going to have them do what I think is their job to recommend to the board the people for the other committees, or are you guys doing it all because of the fact that the nomination and governance committee obviously was stood down? I just trying to understand and make sure we all understand.
That's correct, Tim.
Okay.
the selection election committee, which the three of us made up of Jacqueline, myself, and Sandra, went and selected these, for all but of the 7, 6, we selected the candidates.
Right. Okay, great. So I would like to do the following. I'd like to go through any other reports, and then it's really not my, at least I don't believe it's my call to say whether or not we go.
Tim, I think you can
My
ask
personal
for a
opinion.
motion. Oh,
Well, wait, whoa, we're way ahead of yourself there. My personal opinion is that I'll vote no because I haven't been briefed up and seen anything in paper. I'm not going to vote for anybody without having seen all the resumes, unless I did get them, and it's my fault that I didn't look at them. But you can just give a. What do you think, Trig? Should we just like you guys send out, to the board a confidential memo so we can be prepared to talk about these people when you brief them, or like what do you think's the best way to do it?
I think that's certainly one way to do it. We could have a special meeting with that information provided before the meeting. We could put it off to the 5/4 if that's the date for the next board meeting. I think it makes sense to kind of coordinate it with the AAC, but not necessary, obviously.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so basically, I don't believe we really need a motion here unless somebody wants to try to push for going now. My hope is that we would, it sounds like you did agree that it's better to like give us the information, and then whether y'all would rather do a special meeting or wait, I don't have an opinion on that. I just wanted to do whatever is the most effective so we can make the best possible decision. If
Well,
you don't mind.
let's get if we may get Jacqueline maybe to weigh in on her opinion since
Yeah,
she's on the
sure.
call.
Yeah. Oh, great. Great. Hey, thank you, Jacqueline. Go ahead, please.
She was on the call. Okay. Perhaps
Oh, it
Laura.
says she's on. It says she's on. I just saw it.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, she was. I spoke to her earlier. Laura, is there anything you want to add on it?
About whether or not to do a special meeting or
Right. In terms of the options, obviously, paying tribute to the fact that we're all trying to go for obviously a lot more transparency and openness, as certainly Tim's been pushing forward, but there are reasons that we should not at this point do that. And perhaps what we should do is circulate the documentation and go ahead and have a special meeting.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then you'd want that special meeting in executive session because talking about personnel nominations, people, it's just the right thing to do because it's sensitive and you don't want anybody's feelings hurt, right? So whatever you guys decide to do, I think the discussion of specific candidates should be in executive session.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. So, look, Trig, it sounds to me like we obviously came to a common sense agreement here is just get the whatever documentation and ranking matrix that you guys did, like a paragraph or two on each.
Tim, you froze again. I'm not sure why. Tim?
Team there. And thank you. Thank Jacqueline. Thank Sandra for what must have been a tremendous amount of work. I can tell you that the
Hey,
new
Tim.
Yes,
really
ma'am.
quick, just so you know, Tim, we didn't hear the first half of that because you froze, and so it was silent.
I just said thank you to Trig.
Sorry. Okay.
And to Jacqueline and to Sandra. Appreciate it, Kelly. Trig, anything else, sir?
Nothing else.
Cool.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. And thank you. And Sarah, you did yours, or do you have more on the treasurers?
No, I think we pretty much covered. Kelly, thank you for covering it for me. But yeah, no, I don't have much of a report for this meeting other than to have a quick shout out to the kids who joined us yesterday from Shriner University who were just like so amazing and helped us run through those clinics. So just like a quick thanks to Sydney Coffin and Aiden Burns, Matthew Coots, and AJ Beauvais. Y'all were rock stars. Thanks for putting up with all of us old people. And that's my report for this meeting.
Wow. Hey, thank you. And also just to say to Sarah, I mean, she's done amazing in leading this weekend where it really was incredible. So I really recommend it. The future times, everybody will definitely be glad that they came. If anybody that's here disagrees, I love to hear it. But it was really cool, and that was really because of you. And all I can say also is thank God for Para Bunker because you would have beat me and the overall without it.
For the record, I beat you a few times, but
Oh, she did, and I'm so mad about it. So anyways, Danya, you're up.
Thank you. Kelly answered most of the questions that we had, but I think what I really want to do is stress hiring a high performance director because how it directly affects all of the athletes. And I think once we get a high performance director, so many other things that are issues will fall in line, like TAS. Since we're not funding full teams to go to these World Cups, so many kids can't afford to go to all of these World Cups. So they're waiting on an answer of TAS if they can afford to go to these World Cups, which could directly affect their world ranking for next year and how they're funded for next year. So it's kind of just like a rolling issue that we're having.
Yeah.
And then also selection procedure, I know has been a hot topic, not only for shotgun, but there's issues in rifle and pistol as well. And I've written one for shotgun, but there's really nothing I can do with it without a high performance director. So I just want to stress hiring one because we probably should have had one in January.
Okay. This is a recurring theme, and we are very sensitive to your concern, Tanya, and actually doing something about it, you know, with people like Vincent. Frank, animated conversations. I was
Tim,
just soaking
you
it up.
froze again, so I didn't hear the last couple of words you said. I'm sorry.
Darn it. Sorry. I'm in the parking lot trying to stay out of the wind. We're all over what you're saying. And thank you for doing what you're doing. And thank you all. Is there any old business that we need to deal with, ladies and gentlemen? Mr. Secretary, do you know if there's any old business?
None that I'm aware of, sir.
Okay. And I would just assume it's not on this agenda, but to ask if there's any new business is typically what you do in these meetings. Is there any new business from my colleagues, please? Or Kelly, if there's something that you know that we need to be doing. Hearing no new business, unless there's any other really important things that someone wanted to say. If there is, I'll certainly let you say it on my time. If somebody feels like they didn't get to weigh in on something. Hearing none, I would ask for a motion to adjourn, please.
So moved, Sarah Walker.
Second,
If we could, without objection. Hearing no objection, the motion to adjourn is approved. And thank you all very, very much. And this will be, I believe, available online to look at, I think, forever. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tim.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.